Pinky fixed Austin with a look. "Tate's taken a wife," she said, cutting straight to the chase. "So is Garrett. What's keeping you single, handsome?" Tate and Garrett both leaned in a little, putting the squeeze on him. Austin felt heat climb his neck, and he was glad for the dim, smoky light, because there were a few things he wanted to keep to himself. Nobody needed to know he was embarrassed. "I'm too young to get married," he told Pinky, employing his most endearing grin. "Nonsense," Pinky blustered. "Marriage might settle you down a little, and you could do with some settling down if you ask me." Austin refrained from pointing out that he hadn't asked her. It was right about then that he felt a strange squeezing sensation in his lower back, and his left leg went numb to the knee. He shifted his weight to the right, hoping to relieve some of the pressure, but it didn't help much. "Tate and I couldn't agree more," Garrett chatted on. "Austin definitely ought to settle down, quit bumming around the rodeo circuit, start a family, do something constructive with his life." Privately, Austin scoffed at his brother's remark. Garrett had a hell of a nerve making a speech like that. Up until a few months ago, when Julie Remington had roped him in and then hog-tied him for good, brother number 2 had worked for a United States senator and had his pick of smart, beautiful, willing women. Tate hadn't exactly lived like a monk either, back in the wild days after he and Cheryl divorced, and before he'd fallen back in love with Libby, his high school sweetheart and Julie's older sister. The way they talked now, a person could almost imagine that they'd been living saintly and celibate lives right along. Austin took a long swig of his beer and waited for the feeling in his leg to come back. "Do you know what he did tonight?" Tate asked, on a roll now, resting an elbow on the bar and leaning earnestly in Pinky's direction. "No telling," Pinky said with a shake of her head. "Could have been just about anything." "He rode buzzsaw," Garrett informed the bartender, as though Austin weren't standing right there between his brothers, both of them shoulder-mashing him. "Managed to draw the same bull that tore him apart last year. Took a whole team of surgeons to sew our baby brother back together, and what does he do?" Pinky's blue eyes grew round. She stared at Austin as though he were 7 kinds of a fool and then some. "Well, I'll be damned," she said. "Always said you had more looks than good sense, and now here's the proof." Austin didn't have an answer handy, and he wouldn't have gotten the chance to use one anyhow. Suddenly, the floor pitched sideways, and he leaned against the bar, waiting for the room to right itself. When it did, the motion was sudden, and Austin's knees buckled. He might have gone down if Tate and Garrett hadn't gotten him by the elbows and held him upright. "I swear that's only his second beer," Pinky said, sounding worried. Garrett waved off her concern. "He's all right, Pinky." "Can you walk?" Tate asked Austin, his voice quiet now and serious. If fierce determination had been enough, Austin would have made it across that barroom floor and outside to his own truck, told his brothers to go to hell, and driven himself back to the seedy motel room he'd rented a few days before. A hot shower and about 12 hours of sleep, and he'd be fine. Unfortunately, determination wasn't enough, not that night anyway. Austin managed to stay on his feet, but only because Tate and Garrett were holding him up. "Hell yes, I can walk," he lied. "You damn idiot," Tate muttered, as they crossed the parking lot, headed for his big extended cab truck. With some help from Garrett, Tate muscled him into the back seat. He'd have fought back for sure if his legs hadn't turned to noodles. He felt lightheaded, too, and slightly sick to his stomach. "My truck," he said.